Hello, I'm Felix from GMWolf, and in this tutorial I'll show you how to draw different things to the screen and what functions to use. So there's a bunch of different things that you can draw to the screen. So the first one are sprites. So these are just normal images. Then you have primitives. Primitives are basically very simple and basic things to draw, and I cannot write and speak at the same time, unfortunately, which is annoying. Primitives that these include rectangles. You have lines, points. You also have things like triangles. You have circles and a bunch of other ones. And you also are able to draw backgrounds, which are a bit like sprites but have less things to it. Backgrounds. And you also have more advanced features like health bars. We've already seen those. Health bars and 3D models. You also have there's a bunch of different things you can draw. So let's see how you can use these different functions, like how you draw them to the screen within GameMaker. So let's open up this project right here, and as you can see, I already created a sprite with two sub-images, so a green one and a blue one. I'm going to create a new object and go inside, add an event, the draw event. So we want to edit stuff inside the draw event. So the first thing we're going to see how to draw are sprites, obviously. So the function to draw a sprite is draw_sprite. Now this one takes a few arguments. The first one being the axis sprite, so we're going to use sprite1. Then you have the sub-image, which is, again, what image inside the animation to use. So we're going to use 0 for this one. And then the X and Y position. So I'm going to draw this one at like 5, 5. Now, you can obviously change the sub-image and then change it to 1, and this will draw the second really sub-image. And let's draw this one lower at, more to the right. Let's say 38, 39. 40 to make it a nice and round number. Now you can also draw things like rectangles, so well, first let's go with the line, a nice and simple one. And so you can draw that, let's see, from, I don't know, let's say 60, 30 to 80, 90, for example. And this will draw a line between these 2 points, so 60, 30, 80, 90. And you can also draw a rectangle, let's say from 200 to 250 to 250, for example. So these are a few simple ones. Oh yes, and rectangle takes another argument, which is whether you want it to be an outline or filled. Let's say we want it to be filled. So let's check out the game so far, and of course I forgot to do something, like always, and that would be to place the object inside the room. Here you go. So these are the first few simple ways of drawing things. As you can see, we just have a few lines of code, and as you can see, we're able to have the draw sprite1 0 over here. Then next to it, we have draw sprite1 over here. Then we have the draw line right over here, as you can see along this bit, and the draw rectangle over here. So quite simple to draw very, simple things. Now we can go a bit further. As you can see, these sprites are, in only one position. Let's see if we can't rotate them somehow. So let's have a draw_sprite_x, and this means draw sprite extended. So we have sprite1. Sub-image 0, for example, you can have the X and Y position, so let's have 300, 300. Then the X and Y scale, let's make it twice as big. So put the X scale to 2, Y scale to 2. Rotation, let's rotate it 60 degrees. And C color, we're just going to change, like the color, we're just going to keep it to C_white, which is the default thing for drawing sprites. And the alpha is how the opacity of your object. So if you want to make something slightly transparent, like water or some glass, you would lower this. Let's do this. Let's put it at 0.8 instead of 1. 1 being, of course, completely opaque, and 0 being completely transparent. So let's see what happens. So we should have an extra sprite drawn, rotated, and twice as big. Right here. Here you go. It works. So as you can see, we have sprite 1 with subimage 0, the same as this one. Drawn at position 300, 300, around about here. Made twice as big in the X direction and in the Y direction. We're rotating it by 60 degrees, and it should be, I mean, it's probably not very visible, but it's not completely, it's slightly transparent, a tiny bit. It's not exactly visible right here, but it is. So let's go on to look at other methods of drawing. So we have backgrounds, obviously, so you can just press the background button over here and edit the background. Let's make a very simple pattern. In general, you want backgrounds to be seamless, which means they can repeat X and Y as much as you want. So let's just make a cross and something, I don't know, like that. Here you go, nice and simple background. And if you go inside the object 1, inside room 0, and backgrounds, you can set a background. So you can say visible when room starts and background 0. And as you can see, it will repeat this pattern all over the room. Now let's actually make this slightly more interesting by changing a few colors here and there. Here you go, and yellow maybe. Here you go. So it's a nice little background spin in the back of your room. You can obviously draw the backgrounds as well by using draw_background. Let's use background 0 because I didn't name it. And the X and Y we can go to 15, 480. I don't know, I just made this up. So we should be able to see another background as well as the background in the background, if that makes any sense. So as you can see, you have a few different drawing options. So you can see you have the background on the back. I'm not quite sure you can see the background we drew afterwards because it seems to be exactly over the background, which is kind of a shame. But now you can see that this one was in fact slightly transparent. You can barely see, you can see a bit of the yellow behind it. So these are different options for drawings. There are quite a lot more. Just typing draw_, press Control Space, you'll see all of these different options. So you can draw arrows, you can draw all these different types of backgrounds, you can draw even a button, which I wasn't aware of. You can draw a circle, you can draw a huge amount of different things. And yeah, you even have round rectangles, which are rectangles with the things rounded off, and they all take very similar arguments, really. So that's pretty much it for this very quick tutorial on different ways of drawing things. The main ones being, of course, drawing sprites, and then drawing lines and rectangles are quite useful. And as you can see, you can rotate them using different methods. So if you liked this video, if it was helpful at all, please like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time for some more tutorials.